children on board. Please remain seated as much as possible.
So welcome aboard your one-way trip to Southend-on-Sea, ladies and gentlemen. We shall be arriving in approximately 3.5 hours' time. If you require a return ticket, they can be purchased from the pier ticket office at Southend. The next cruise back this evening will be at 10 o'clock, which should get you in for around midnight. Just a reminder that as it's Friday, there will be 24-hour tube service when you get back to London. I'm only joking. Welcome aboard your 45-minute London Eye River cruise that looks up terror. If you're wondering where I am, I'm currently behind you on the upper deck giving you a big cheesy wave. Hello! Oh, not even started yet. Round of applause. My name is Liam. I'm going to be your tour guide for the next 40 to 45 minutes, you lucky things. Now, if you're on the upper deck, one little rule: no standing up. If you stand up, you block the captain's view. Hal is trying to drive the boat from behind you all. He needs to see where he's going. It's a little bit important. So please, no standing up to take photos, or I have to tell you off. Now, don't mind if you want to go and sit downstairs. That is, of course, fine. You can also get audio guides downstairs in Spanish, French, Italian, Russian, German, Mandarin, Japanese, and Dutch. That's Spanish, French, Italian, Russian, German, Mandarin, Japanese, and Dutch. So if you require an audio guide in one of those languages, make your way to the lower deck. Come and speak to my colleague Ithia, who's at the back of the boat, and she will help you out with those. I do understand the irony. If you need an audio guide in one of those languages, you maybe don't know what I've just said. But hopefully that describes enough that I can get downstairs. Hello, everyone on the lower deck. I'm coming to see you too. Only have a rule: no Titanic moments, because if it's just coming out of it, look at it carefully. It's meant to represent something. Any ideas what? That's Charing Cross Station, and people often say, Liam, looks like a toaster, or a jukebox, or the back of a car. What have I told you? One man once said, it looks like my wife giving love. Right? What have I told you though? That is meant to be a steam train coming out of the tunnel. Can you see that? No, neither can I. Now over on the right hand side, it's the South Bank Centre. It was built for the Festival of Great Britain back in 1951. It was meant to raise the spirits of the people of London after the Second World War. You've got the Royal Festival Hall over there, home to the London Philharmonic Orchestra. You've also got the Queen Elizabeth Hall and the Purcell Rooms. Beautiful part of the city to go for a walk in. Lots of nice bars and restaurants and cafes, a skateboard park. And over on the left is a very posh hotel. That one, your own living room. And you sleep on bed sheets which have been hand-stitched with unicorn hair by the leprechauns. Would have to be something like that for that amount of money, wouldn't it? But the creme de la creme of the entertainment industry have stayed in there. I'm talking about the classiest of the class. Oh yes, Judy Garland, Oscar Wilde, Charlie Chaplin, Fred Astaire, Laurence Olivier, Justin Bieber. Oh dear. And on the right hand side you've got a very famous theatre, the Royal National Theatre. It's ugly. It looks like a multi-storey car park. In fact, Prince Charles himself said he thought that building looked like the back end of a nuclear power station. It's much prettier on the inside though. You've got 3 theatre spaces in there. The largest one is the Olivier Theatre, named after the actor and first artistic director of the National, Sir Laurence Olivier. Tickets from as cheap as about £15 to see a performance in there, which for the centre of London is really quite fantastic. So if you're looking for a place to go see some good theatre in the city, I'd recommend trying out the National. Or if theatre's not your cup of tea, shame on you. But if it's not, if you're more of a television fan, you might be excited to see that coming up on the right behind the trees is this white building, and that is the ITV studios. Now, for those people on board who do not know, ITV is the second largest broadcasting company in the United Kingdom after the BBC, and they bring us all of our very highly intellectual and educational television shows like Jeremy Kyle. Well, they did. Ant and Dec, Saturday Night Takeaway, Take Me Out, Loose Women, and the god-awful Love Island. This ship over on the left-hand side, the white one with the yellow funnel, is the Wellington. Now, during the Second World War, it actually served as a decoy vessel. It was designed to look like a simple merchant ship. German U-boats would rise from the water to shoot it down with a big gun. They didn't want to waste one of their torpedoes sinking what they thought was just a merchant ship. What they didn't realise was that parts of the Wellington would fall down to reveal massive cannons that would then sink the German U-boats. Coming up on the right, you've got this red brick building with the white stripes. That is the OXO warehouses, the meat production facility for the OXO stock cubes back in the 1920s and 30s. Take a look at the tower at the top of the building. What do you think it says? If you think it says OXO, you're wrong. That's because we're floating on royal waters. This is a royal highway, and therefore to advertise your company name on the River Thames without permission is illegal. In the 1930s, OXO were taken to court for building that tower. What they said to the judge was, we are not advertising our company name. All we have done is order windows in a random series of geometric shapes. We just so happen to get 2 circles and a cross. So if you think it says OXO, that is all in your mind. And the judge went, oh, all right, fair enough. They got away with it. Madness. We like to nickname our skyscrapers in London. We have a little bit of a thing about it. Do you see this new skyscraper that's been built on the right-hand side? This big, curvy, shiny one? Londoners have just come up with a nickname for it. We are calling it the Kardashian. Bridge in front of us is Blackfriars Bridge, so called because it used to be a Dominican priory on the north bank of the river, and the friars there wore black robes, hence the term Blackfriars. Now, it was within that priory that Henry VIII had his divorce hearing to his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. Later on, the priory was closed down during the dissolution of the monasteries, when he broke away from Rome and the Catholic Church and made himself supreme head of the Church of England, all in a desperate attempt to get his marriage annulled so he could then marry Anne Boleyn. The columns of the bridge are designed to look like pulpits, and they've got birds in them. On one side, birds you commonly find on the freshwater side of the River Thames. On the other side, birds you commonly find in the saltwater side. Victorians believe this is where the saltwater met the freshwater. They were wrong. Oh my goody gumdrops. What are the mysterious red columns, eh? Be they giant bird tables? Be they the River Thames version of Stonehenge? Be they sponsored by Coca-Cola? Well, there is a very mysterious and very, 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 very exciting story all about the red columns. But I'm not going to tell you. Now on the right, you've got the Bankside Power Station. At least it used to be that big chimney was causing far too much pollution. It's now the Tate Modern Art Museum. If you like modern art, it's free entry to get inside. That's the place to go. If, like me, you don't like modern art, do not worry. They've got a bar at the top. Couple of beers, and the art is suddenly all that much more interesting. Then over on the left, you've got the Dome of St Paul's Cathedral, 365 feet high. That's one for every day of the year, making the tallest building in London up until the 1960s. Designed by the architect Sir Christopher Wren and replaced the last St Paul's which burnt down during the Great Fire of London. Many famous events have taken place in there over the years, including the marriage of Princess Diana to Prince Charles, funerals for Lord Nelson, Winston Churchill, most recently our first female Prime Minister, Baroness Margaret Thatcher. Christopher Wren himself is buried inside. His epitaph reads, "If you seek my monument, look around you." Little fact for you, he didn't want a golden cross at the top of St Paul's, he wanted a giant golden pineapple. Because in those days, pineapples were seen as a symbol of prosperity. He was told, no mate, you're not getting a pineapple, you're getting a cross. It was a big deal. He was building a domed cathedral in a Protestant country. And it is in fact the largest domed cathedral in the world after St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican City. He did not need to worry though, St Paul's has become the heart of London. So much so that during the Second World War, our Prime Minister Winston Churchill would get on the phone from the cabinet war rooms to make sure St Paul's was still standing after an air raid. He believed if St Paul's was bombed and destroyed, the morale of the people of Britain would be crushed. It did miraculously survive the Blitz. One bomb did fall through the roof, it luckily did not detonate, it just made St Paul's even holier. You've just come by the reconstruction of Shakespeare's Globe on the right. The old Globe, the original Globe, stood right up in front of us where the Financial Times building is in their car park. And it burnt down in 1613 when during a performance of Henry VIII, an actor fired a live cannon on stage. In a building made out of wood, what could go wrong? I think it's safe to say that actor was very quickly fired. Because he wasn't a bright spark. But I bet he had a blast, as his career ended with a bang. At least he brought the house down. This whole area back in Shakespeare's day, the Elizabethan or Jacobean age, was a den of debauchery and sin. All your naughty London activities took place down here. Your theatres, your bear fighting, your bullfighting, your cockfighting, your boxing, your wrestling, your gambling, your fish slapping, pig tickling, bunny boiling, hamster squishing madness. And the occasional brothel and tavern. You can see one of those taverns on the right just now. That is the Anchor Pub. It's been there since 1615. Stands in the same location as the Bankside, which was there since the 1300s. Many famous people have had a pint in that pub. Many famous people, including Charles Dickens, Dr. Samuel Johnson, who wrote the dictionary, Samuel Pepys, the famous diarist, John Evelyn watched the Great Fire of London taking place in there, Tom Cruise filmed the last scene of Mission Impossible in there, I've been in there. Really nice fish and chips, they are award-winning. They do say the pub is haunted, and I believe it's true. I've seen many spirits behind the bar. It was also at one point a frequented haunt by pirates and smugglers. Don't believe me, look to the right, because there be a pirate ship. Can I please hear best? Arr! Ship of the timbers. That is indeed a pirate ship. That is a reconstruction of Francis Drake's Golden Hind. In 1577, Francis Drake set sail on the Golden Hind on a 3-year journey. When he came back, he was £25 million in today's money richer, having plundered all of that money from the Spanish and the Portuguese. He was not tried for piracy though. Instead, Elizabeth I said, "Well done," and then she had him knighted. And that was because all of that money went to pay off England's debts 3 times over. So if there's any Spanish or Portuguese on board today, I'm very sorry about that. Why are pirates pirates? Because they are. What's a pirate's favourite letter? It's not R. It's the C. Hey. Right, it's audience participation time. Want you all to stick your hands in the air like you just don't care. Come on, all hands up, all hands up. If he is going to watch you on this lower deck, I'm going to come up to the upper deck. And what we're going to do, on the count of 3, everyone is going to point in the direction of the world famous London Bridge. Where are my hands up? Come on, all hands up. All hands up. On the count of 3, London Bridge. 1, 2, 3, go! So if you're pointing ahead of you, well done. Because you're wrong. If you were pointing at the sky, that's an interesting choice. London Bridge is that boring slab of concrete we just went underneath. Yeah, I don't want to humiliate anyone, but to actually say that in very big writing as we sail by. Don't worry if you thought Tower Bridge was London Bridge, though many people get it wrong, including Google Images. In fact, the singer Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas got it wrong. She wrote herself a song called London Bridge, and in her music video she's twerking away on Tower Bridge. It was awkward, In fact, do we have any Americans on board? Anyone in from the States? Wow, we'll see you. Okay, any of you live near Lake Havasu in Arizona? If so, you can still see the Victorian London Bridge. It was bought by a man named McCulloch, shipped out there brick by brick, and it still stands there today. Now, theory goes, he thought he was buying Tower Bridge, so he might have been a little bit disappointed. He denied it, but you probably would if you made a mistake like that. And consequently, his wife never let him go shopping alone again. Please, no standing on the upper deck, and especially no standing on your chair. This is a moving vessel. Actually, my American friends, any of you from San Francisco? Well, this is the most photographed bridge in the world, so sorry San Francisco, but our bridge is better than yours. On the right, that round glass building is City Hall. It's often described as looking like a beehive or an onion, or my favourite, Darth Vader's helmet. And that is where our Mayor Sadiq Khan works. And on the left, the building you should all visit, the Tower of London, about 900 years old, built during the reign of William the Conqueror, originally as a royal palace. Over the years it served as a mint, an observatory, a lighthouse, a treasury, an armoury, a zoo, and a prison. The White Tower in the centre is the oldest part. It's not the most infamous tower though. That's the Bloody Tower, from which 2 young princes disappeared. Their disappearance meant that uncle could crown himself King Richard III. Did he have his nephews murdered off to become king? We may never know for sure. Sadly, we cannot see the Bloody Tower from the boat because of the bloody trees. Right, quickly, wave to people on Tower Bridge. Legend says if they wave back, everyone on board gets 5 years good luck. Come on, big wave, big cheer. If they spit on you, you get 10 years good luck. Oh, there you go. You just got yourselves 5 years. Good luck. How good is that? That is because this is the last bridge the sailors would have gone under in the Victorian and Edwardian times on the way out to sea. And so their loved ones, their sweethearts, their mammies, their daddies, their grannies, their dugs would gather upon that bridge with a wee tear rolling down one cheek, a wee hanky in their hands, and wave their loved ones goodbye to wish them luck. Oh, can I please hear a big thank you. They do say it's 20 years good luck if you stand on any bridge in London and you fling money at passing tour boats. I know it's right. Butler's Wharf on the right hand side, you can still see the word spice up there. We're in the Docklands, all the trading vessels came down here. It was the busiest docks in the world in 1914, so the busiest docks in Europe in 1945. Your spices, your dried fruits, your silks, your sugars, your ivory, your tea, your coffee, all that sort of stuff would be brought down here. Now as we turn around, you're gonna get the photo opportunity you have all been desperate for. You get to take a selfie with me. Were you laughing? No, you get this amazing photo opportunity of Tower Bridge. Isn't that amazing? Let's face it, that is quite frankly your Instagram moment of the day, isn't it? Hashtag Tower Bridge. Hashtag not London Bridge Fergie. Hashtag Liam is the best tour guide in the whole world. At hashtag LERC London Eye River Cruise. Can we get this trending, please? Thank you.
(007) MI6
Tower Bridge is not as old as you might think. She has only celebrated her 125th anniversary this weekend. She was originally built during the reign of Queen Victoria and was originally painted chocolate brown because that was her favourite colour. She's a vascular bridge. That means that she splits down the centre and rises up to allow tall ships to sail through the middle. In 1952, a double-decker bus was crossing the bridge when it split and started to rise. The driver had to make a quick decision. What was he going to do? He basically did a Hollywood. He slammed his foot on the accelerator, he raced up one section of the opening bridge, he made the jump from one side to the other with nothing but to drop into the water underneath, and he successfully landed the bus on the other side, saving the lives of all those on board. He got a medal for this, a £10 raise in his wages, and a slap from his wife for stupidity. Which one, sorry? The quiet one. I'll talk about it. Now, we're actually a little bit lucky. I decided I really like you guys. You've been a lovely tour group, so I sent a text message through to Tower Bridge, and they're going to open it up for us now. But it's because I like you all, yeah? So remember those hashtags. Liam is the best tour guide in the world. Let's keep that going.